You're watching Caribbean Vibrations, and we're coming to you from the Real Jerk Legacy in downtown Toronto, where we're going to continue our conversation about gambling in the Afro-Black Caribbean community. And today I have with me Melissa Toney-Williams, Associate Director of Prevention Programs for the Responsible Gambling Council. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Alan. Thanks for asking.
We're talking about gambling in the Afro-Black Caribbean community. Can you tell our viewers what is the primary mission of the Responsible Gambling Council?
Sure. So Responsible Gambling Council is a not-for-profit organization that has been around for over 40 years, and we focus on player protection. We are an organization that works with everybody in the space, whether it's operators, government regulators. We work with community organizations and community to raise awareness of the risk of gambling harms. We provide prevention programs, we do research, we do advocacy, speak on policy. And so at the end of the day, we just know that gambling shouldn't come at a human cost, and we want people to be safe and feel like they have safety in gambling.
I like that. Now, what specific trends or challenges have you observed in gambling behaviors in our community?
So one of the things I mentioned was that we do research, and so we have learned that there are some communities that are experiencing gambling harms and problem gambling at a higher rate, that there is indicators that the Black community also is starting to show markers of experiencing gambling harms. And so for us, that is a concern because we are noticing that ethnocultural populations are being impacted. And so what we've been doing is offering prevention programs that are all evidence-based through this research, so that we are able to give people the information they need to make informed choices when it comes to gambling. When it comes to the Black community and the indicators that we're seeing, we recognize that this is a population that we should be digging into a little bit more. And so we are looking to do more research to understand the exact behaviors that need to be addressed. But in the meantime, we still are sharing our messages, and we want to engage to better understand people's experiences, the types of information that's needed, and how we as an organization can support spreading some awareness.
Now, I know we didn't talk about this in the beginning, but why do you think gambling is such a taboo subject in our community?
I think there's a lot of taboo subjects in our community, and the reality is gambling is legal and it's meant to be entertainment, right? So I can be honest with you, I don't think I've ever gotten a birthday card from my mom without a lottery ticket in it, and that's fine. I've done girls' nights at the casino, as I know many people have. So it's meant to be fun. You go, you spend a couple dollars, you try and see if you can win. Unfortunately, for some people, it becomes more than that. And so when it starts to feel like you are being sucked in a little bit deeper than you anticipated, that can be a scary feeling, and to be able to speak or say out loud that you're experiencing something that is less than positive, that's not really something that we share. As a community, we're very private, so when we can see each other and talk like this, and I would have no idea what's happening in the background. And so the challenge is, it's normal. These things happen. Not everybody that experiences a gambling harm has a gambling addiction or a problem, but there are indicators that if you are open to the information and if you talk about it, you'll be able to get some tools and some support so that it doesn't take you down a dangerous road. And so as a community, what we're really trying to do is socialize the conversation. Have a conversation for people to understand that sometimes you can have experiences that you may need some support for, and we're able to offer that support.
Now, you just mentioned harms and problems. What's the difference, and can you give us some examples?
So a gambling harm is the beginning stage or an indicator that you might want to be reflective about your gambling behaviors. Prime example, you are somebody that goes to the casino once in a while. We know that sports betting is very popular right now, and there's a lot of games happening. I left the house today and my husband was watching the Chelsea game.
Of course.
So, exactly. So some people might want to, play some bets, and that's fine. If you start to notice that maybe you're thinking of gambling a little bit more often than you normally do, okay, maybe things are starting to change a little bit. You start to notice that you are starting to bet or wager a little bit more than normal, that's fine. Starting to take over your thoughts a little bit more. You're starting to notice now that as opposed to going to, family events or doing social things with friends, you'd rather spend time gambling, so you're missing some of those pieces. Maybe you're starting to neglect some of your day-to-day things that you need to do around the house. So basically, a gambling harm is a beginning stage that indicates that you might need to do a little bit of reflection. When it starts to become a problem is when it's starting to impact your life in ways that have negative effects. So you're gambling more than you can afford to. And when you are losing, you're chasing those losses, which means you're starting to gamble more even on top of that. You need to borrow money to play or to gamble. You're not able to meet your financial obligations for things like groceries, bills, maybe your rent or your mortgage. You're starting to hide the gambling or you're lying about it. So you can see it's a little bit of a continuum. And this is why we speak about gambling harms, because there are some early indicators that, whoa, maybe I need to pull back a little bit. Maybe I need to start thinking about, how best to manage this. Maybe I need to think about other activities I should be doing as opposed to gambling, right? So it's still within your reach to make decisions so that you don't go down the gambling problem road.
I love that. And I appreciate you taking the time to come sit down with us to talk about this, because it is something that you've brought to our attention that's happening in the community, and we really appreciate it. So thanks again.
Well, I just wanted to say, I appreciate you. I've watched Caribbean Vibrations for years. Many of us have. And I know that the community leans into the show to get information. And so we saw this as a great opportunity to speak directly to the community, to say that we recognize that there are some challenges. We're here to have conversation, to share information, and we hope that it's helpful and it starts to spark people thinking about what's really happening when it comes to gambling.
We appreciate that because we're taking a preventative approach, because like you said, we always wait till it's too late.
Yes.
And we know there might be someone out there who needs help. You can contact Responsible Gambling Council. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all the great advice you gave us.
Great, thanks for having me.
And don't forget, if you have a problem or you know someone who could use some help, you can contact Responsible Gambling Council. And you're watching Caribbean Vibrations.